Hello, hello, hello. So good to be here. I'm in New Jersey looking at the beautiful water and loving life. So today we are talking about the question that everybody asks that how do I launch a business if I have a full-time job? And it all boils down to energy, awareness, and what I call the entrepreneurial leap. It's not a time problem, it's an energy and awareness problem. So in the next 3 to 5 minutes, I'm going to be breaking down what actually creates that kind of transformation. The spoiler alert, it's not time management. Hello, Jose. It's not time management. I'm Prosperous Jen. After 30 years in real estate, I built a six-figure coaching business in my first 6 months. And I didn't do it by finding more time. I did it by becoming somebody different, actually changing my thoughts, my habits, and my energies. The identity shift is where you begin. And once you make this identity shift, time just kind of opens up for you. I actually just got off a call with some potential clients and we had this very conversation. And it all begins with that clarity. When you know exactly what you want, all of a sudden you have all the time in the world, right? Like when you are going on vacation the week before, you pull off this miraculous amount of things because you're so excited and you're so have the North Star of this vacation that you are going on. And it's very simple, very simple. But it does take to create that clarity, and the clarity, not only what kind of business, but why are you building the business? Who do you become when that business is successful? Who do you become in that process? What does your life look like? And that you are using that as your North Star. And that's where you create this abundance of energy and time. And it's an incredible, beautiful thing. Now, I launched my business. I love vacations too. I launched my business in six figures and hit the in 6 months and hit the six figures, but I don't suggest that. If you have a job, that's this beautiful thing. And so now really spend time thinking about what it is that you want and then structure your life so that every moment of your day is spent moving you in the direction that you want to go in. And when you get clear, your present behavior will start to shift automatically and you will start to see results. You're not finding time. You just become someone who uses your time for what actually matters. But I think what happens is, you guys, is we don't really know what matters. We don't take the time to get that clarity in our life on what we actually want. One of my coaches, Brian Johnson, talks about using mantras like, do I want to be entertained right now, or do I want whatever it is that my ultimate desire is? Actually asking yourself. So when you're making choices between scrolling, reading the news, binge watching, or doing any other thing that is not leading you towards your desired outcomes. Now, listen, if you get joy and that's making you feel good, those things are important too. But the thing is that we fool ourselves into thinking we don't have enough time. So you absolutely have enough time if you have a full time to launch a business. The environment you're in is what shapes you, who you're around, what you're consuming, and what systems you have in place. And that clarity is the first system that you're going to put in place on building out your business. And we're going to create an environment that is conducive to being able to do that. When I 10x that real estate company, I didn't just manage my time better. I redesigned my entire environment. I got conscious about what I was consuming, what I was doing, how I was spending that time, who I was around. And I made sure everything aligned with my desired outcomes. The awareness is what changed everything. I just told the story a few minutes ago about how when my youngest daughter was going into kindergarten, all of a sudden the school district said, we only have half day. I was like, okay. And this kid had been in daycare all the way up until this point. And I made a decision right there and then that I wasn't going to put her into daycare for the second half of that day. So I was going to commit to only having a half a day to work. And I made sure that my goals and what I wanted to achieve was so crystal clear that in 5 hours a day, I was able to break $300,000 in income for the first time ever, that versus what I was taking 8, 9, 10, 11 million hours to try to do prior, because I did not have that clarity. So the clarity is that absolute first story and first system that you're going to put in place. And the difference is between wanting and deciding and committing and putting your energy and your focus in the direction of what you have decided that you want. You don't just want it. Now you are committed and you are aligning your habits, your actions, and your choices towards that desired outcome. And now all of a sudden you have so much time in your life because you begin to analyze everything that you're doing. Is this moving me towards launching my business, or is this moving me away? And guess what? My friends are used to me disappearing because I'm focused on building this and doing that. But at the same time, I have better relationships with my friends and my family than I ever have, because I've learned how to create harmony with all the things in my life that are important to me. And this is what can happen when you tap into that future self. You stop hustling and you start building something that actually fits the life that you want, and your future self is already available to you, the person who has all the good habits. How are you guys doing? Any thoughts? Any questions? Who's out there struggling right now in a job, watching me, maybe can't even participate, but you can direct message me later. By the way, I forgot to say, drop a comment below, ready, and I will send you the blueprint that took me to 6 figures in 6 months, or direct message me, and you can do this later. I know that some of you are in a position right now where you're watching from a job or you're participating from the job. How do you protect energy when work already drains you? Hello, Mariella. Well, one of the most important things to do to protect your energy is to make sure that you are even aware of your energy. I'm not going to lie. Yesterday, I had a really off energy day. I don't even know if my team noticed it. It really didn't. It kind of built up over the day. And by the end of the day, I was just like kind of miserable. And so I don't know what happened there, right? But I have built up what I call emotional stamina. And so when I am feeling drained, I'm actually able to kind of dip into this well of emotional stamina that I have built for myself. I spend a lot of time giving myself the space to think. I have, I work on my physical energy. I work on my mental energy. And so if I get in a position where I understand the question now. You're really talking about your day job. That work drains you because now you have a means to an end. It's so much easier when you have that clarity and you build out the blueprint of the exact business that you want to build and what it's going to look like and who you're going to be in the version of this when the business is launched and successful, what that's going to look like for you. So now when you're showing up to work and you know that this work is actually giving you the income and the stability so that you can focus on this future business and future version of yourself, all of a sudden you have more energy. It's not draining you because it's you're making a choice. You've made a choice to stay in this job because it is going to give me that income and that stability to build the future that I desire. Sorry, I didn't understand the question at first. I hope that answered it. What else is going on out there? Anybody want to say hello? Check in? Any coaching questions? How do I avoid jumping between ideas when progress is slow? Yeah, this is a hard one. So there's a difference between tweaking and jumping, right? We want to test. We do, like figuring out different variations of the things that we are implementing and putting in place. And we want to test them out and see where they're going, but sometimes we might have to make some tweaks along the way. I think it's very different than the shiny object syndrome. So we want to be responsible, but we have to give things enough time to see if they're actually working. And if we are switching back and forth, between like, oh, I have this new idea. Oh, and I have this new idea. You're starting at ground zero over and over again. That's that starting and stopping. And that's where many people in your situation, I'm assuming that you are still in a job that you never actually end up launching because you just keep trying different ideas and new ideas. And it really takes that consistency over time, but with the flexibility of tweaking, making little tweaks along the way. But if you're starting brand new ideas over and over and over again, you're literally starting at ground zero over and over again, and you're never going to get that kind of traction that you're looking for. And a lot of people that are still in a job and want to transition into being an entrepreneur or a business owner, traction is that thing that you're waiting for, right? When I have a few clients, when I have some business, when I have some income coming in, then I can make that entrepreneurial leap. So consistency, focus, and commitment. And again, I'm going to say it again. It's not just about what you want. It's about being committed to what you want. We can all say, I want this, I want that. But if our choices, our habits, and our actions are not aligned with that outcome, we're not going to get it. And that includes not jumping from one idea to another, because pretty much there's so many ways to skin a cat. We don't want to spend all of our time figuring out the 90 million. What a terrible expression. Now I'm thinking about a cat skinned, but you get the point. There's so many different ways to accomplish something. And so we spend so much time on the how when we really want to focus on the why. The why, that future version of ourselves, is going to give us a magnetism, an energy, an excitement that's going to do so much of the heavy lifting for us. Hope that helped. Anybody else? One day there's going to be like thousands of people on here asking me all kinds of questions. I just know it. It's going to happen. But I'm not here to be an influencer. I'm here because I am committed and I am focused to my desired outcomes. What should be the one priority in the early stages if time is limited? Clarity. Really getting that clarity of what you want your life to look like, and then what kind of a business can I build that will support that life, and what does it look like? So spending the time on that clarity and then building out your foundation. One of the things that we do in the Beyond Limits program, which is a 6-month program that will take you from idea to scalable business that's earning within 6 months. You can take longer if you want, but you can absolutely do that within 6 months. But what we begin with is the vision, making sure we have that clarity, and then we put structure to that vision. So first the vision, and then putting structure to it, and then actually starting to take action. So hope that answers your question, Jose. I am probably just gonna say goodbye to you guys. I'm so grateful to be here. If anybody else wants to say hello or ask anything, please feel free. But I am here every single Tuesday. I'm grateful for the questions that do come in. I'd love to see some more live interaction, and I know that we will get there. And everybody, just keep doing what you're doing. Move forward with hope, and we can have it all.